Señoritas y señores, bienvenidos a otro video número 12. Muchísimas gracias a ustedes por esperar y por su paciencia. Thank you very much for waiting and for your patience. Video número 12, video number 12 for Spanish 3 honors. Let me tell you, señoritas y señores, this video has been a very tough go because it's very detailed and the grammar that you're learning from this point on in La Clase de Español is going to be more intricate. It's going to be a bit more labor intensive. We really haven't been challenged in the grammar department in Spanish 3 honors all year, but now that changes with today's lesson in Spanish 3 honors. This is chapter 3A, like I mentioned, capítulo 3A. Now you're going to be taking a look at some pretty difficult grammar if you let it be difficult. In other words, if you invest the time and care that you should in La Clase de Español, hopefully this should be easy because it does need a lot of repetition and practice. But you can't really treat La Clase de Español as that other class anymore if you've been doing so. Now the grammar gets much more difficult, the vocabulary gets more advanced. So let's start with Chapter 3A Grammar, telling people what to do. This information can be found on página 121, page 121, señoritas y señores. This is something called mandatos afirmativos con tú. All right? Affirmative commands talking to tú. All right? To tell a friend or close family member to do something, use the tú command form. To give an affirmative command in the tú form, use the present indicative tense. In other words, just the present tense, all right? And when you tell someone what to do, you're going to use the usted, él, ella form. This rule also applies to stem changing verbs. Watch out for those pesky stem changing verbs because, you know, you're going to have to make sure you make those spelling changes when you conjugate these following verbs in the present tense. So take a look at the example that they give you in the libro. Take your infinitive caminar. AR ending verb. You've learned from Spanish 1 that it changes to this, the following. It changes to yo camino, tú caminas, usted, él, ella camina, nosotros caminamos, ustedes, ellos, ellas caminan. Great. All right. Now what the book tells you to do is you take your usted, él, ella form, and that is gonna double up, That is gonna double up as your command word to tell tú what to do, to tell you what to do. So, caminar now changes to camina, walk. Comer. Okay, everyone knows how to conjugate comer in the present tense by now. So, yo como, I eat. Tú comes, you eat. Usted, él, ella come. Stop right there. That is your command word. That doubles up as your command word. Come. Abrir, to open. Yo abro, I open. Tú abres, you open. Usted, él, ella abre. And that doubles as your command word. Okay? Open, abre. Take a look at the other ones. Jugar turns into juega when you work it out. Volver, that's a tricky one. Well, actually, jugar and volver are tricky because, as I said, those are stem changing verbs. Tengan cuidado, watch out. Vuelve when you work it out. And then finally, pedir, another stem changing verb. Pide, ask for this, all right? So that's what the book tells you to do. I do have a PowerPoint here that actually explains it in another way. So take your pick. Option number 1, I just explained it. Option number 2, let's take a look at another approach on how to give affirmative tú commands. Okay, once again, we're telling people what to do in Spanish. Come, camina, duerme. All right, all of those, like I mentioned before, you can use the usted, él, ella of their infinitives. And that way, you know, you have your command word talking to tú. However, option number 2, let's take a look. To state the do's of most verbs or to tell someone what to do, all you need to do is drop the S ending of the tú conjugation. Take a look. Take, once again, caminar, your Spanish infinitive. Yo camino, I walk. Tú caminas, you walk. Now, this is option number 2. you can take the tú form of caminar, which is caminas, and then just chop off the S. And that is your command word in Spanish. So take a look. Tú caminas, chop off the S. Now you have your affirmative tú command. Camina. Same deal with the verb comer. Yo como, I eat. Tú comes, you eat. We'll stop right there. Chop off the S. Come. Dormir, to sleep. Yo duermo. Tú duermes. Stop right there. Chop off the S. Duerme. Not bad, huh? So either approach, option number 1 or option number 2, is going to give you the same result in the end. It depends on how you want to best approach it, all right? Let's try to practice a few of these. Suppose you're telling somebody, open the window. In a familiar way, of course, okay? Make sure you're talking to tú using these, okay? We're going to use the verb abrir. Put the verb abrir in the tú form, so it's tú abres, okay? So you take abres now, chop off that S, there's your command word. Abre la ventana, open the window, all right? Speak now, I want you to speak now. Well, you're gonna use the verb hablar. Put hablar in the tú form, so now you have hablas. Drop the S, habla, bingo. Habla ahora, speak now. All right, drink water. Beber is our verb, or tomar. So you can work it out independently if you want to practice tomar, but we're going to use beber for this example here. Put beber in the tú form. Now you have tú bebes, or just bebes. Drop the S, bebe agua. Always a good idea to beber agua. Bebe agua, drink water. Or if you want to say tomar, toma agua. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish it was that simple for all Spanish affirmative tú commands, but guess what? I'm here to burst your bubble once again. These following infinitives in Español, you can't do the formulas that I mentioned before. You have to approach them differently. These must be memorized. There's no other way. All right, so let's take a look at this list. Decir, di. So you want to tell someone to say something. Di. Hacer, haz la tarea. Ir, ve a tu cuarto, go to your room. Ser, sé, not sé as in I know, but sé as in be this way, okay? Sé simpático, be nice. Sé simpático. Poner, pon la mesa, set the table. Venir, ven aquí. Tener changes into ten cuidado. Salir turns into sal para afuera. Mantener turns into mantén la velocidad, maintain your velocity, especially when you're driving a car. All right, so once again, ladies and gentlemen, these infinitives change into these specific affirmative tú commands. You cannot do the formulas that I mentioned before with these, okay? Now, you probably already hate Senor Barbosa for having you memorize these irregular verbs, but guess what? I'm gonna have you hate me even more, because now we throw in direct object pronouns, indirect object pronouns, and reflexive pronouns all into the mix. And guess what you have to do? You have to actually attach them like Lego blocks to your affirmative tú command. Let me explain. Take a look at the verb hacer, all right? If you were paying attention in the last screen, you can see that hacer is an irregular command, or you have to take hacer to make it into an irregular command, so it's haz la tarea, right? What if you want someone to do the exercise where, well, you can replace el ejercicio with the direct object pronoun lo. So now what you have in the end, you have your command plus your pronoun attached like a Lego block at the end. Put them together. Hazlo. Don't forget the lo represents a masculine singular noun, el ejercicio. Okay, hazlo. If I told you haz la tarea, then my new command to you would be hazla, where the la represents la tarea. All right. Notice that there's an accent mark over the A right here. It says here, add an accent mark to preserve pronunciation if there are 2 or more syllables. It also says that in the yellow box in your libro. So I'm going to have that as a separate lesson after this chapter, all about accent marks. We're seeing a lot more of them. And, you know, as we see more of them, we can't ignore them anymore. They have a purpose in Español. So look out for the full lesson later this school year. Let's move on to the next example. Look at this. Tomar el jarabe. Tomar el jarabe. Okay, so when you work it out, toma is your command word. Lo is your direct object pronoun representing el jarabe. Put it all together. Tómalo. Take it. Look at the next example. Llamar a mí. I want you to call me. Okay. Llámame. Llámame. Call me. Sentarse. I want you to sit yourself down, buddy. Sentarse. Tú. Siéntate. Siéntate. Sienta is your command, and te is your reflexive pronoun. Remember, sentarse is your reflexive verb, but the se part is your pronoun. So the pronoun part goes at the end. Siéntate. Sit down. Decir a él or decir a ella. Well, again, decir is one of those that are irregular. So watch out. When you work it out, your command D is what you're working with. And then if you're telling him or to her, that's an indirect object pronoun. Dile. Dile. Tell him or tell her. Actually, the le part could even say, it can represent usted. So dile. So tell you if you're talking to somebody with respect. But again, we're trying to keep it informal here so that we can keep it simple. Take a look at the last example. Dar a mí el pastel. Wow, okay, a lot to work with here. Dar a mí el pastel. Give me the cake. Well, dar, your command is, oh, actually, it's not irregular, it's regular. So dar changes into da. That is your command. Da, give. To who, remember? Indirect object pronouns, you always want to ask that question, to who or to whom. Me, okay? I'm the recipient. I'm receiving the cake. Dame. And what am I receiving? El pastel. Now we have a direct object pronoun representing el pastel. It's a masculine singular noun. Lo represents el pastel. Lo is your masculine singular direct object pronoun. So when you put it all together, look at how it stacks. Okay, it stacks up like Lego blocks, like I said. Da, me, lo. Dámelo. And that is how that works out. Wow, that's a lot of información to take all in one sitting. So I'm gonna be back with parte número 2 to tell somebody what not to do in a moment. All right, so stand by, señoritas y señores. So you just saw telling somebody what to do, but in part 2 of this video is telling somebody what not to do. So if you don't want your little brother, your little cousin to run in the house, you would have to tell him no corras. All right. If you want that little brother or sister not to eat something, maybe they're eating like something like dirt or something bad, no comas. And I'll show you exactly how to work those out in a moment. Stay tuned. Parte número 2, señoritas y señores. Guess who's back? Back again. Barbs is back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? 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 All right. Página 122, page 122 in your textbook clase is going to tell you all about los mandatos negativos. Now, you know me, I'm a positive guy, and I always advocate the positivity, but sometimes you're going to have to tell tú in Español, don't do this, don't do that, and this is where it all comes together. mandatos negativos con tú. All right, so these are negative commands. So if you want to tell maybe that pesky little cousin, don't run, don't eat, or don't do this, don't do that, this is where you need to learn how to say en español. Now, once again, as in part 1, I am going to show you how the libro breaks it down, but then I will also show you option number 2. So pick your method and you can't go wrong. Okay, here we go. To form negative tú commands with regular verbs, drop the O of the present tense yo form and add the following endings to tell someone what not to do. All right, so what if I want to tell you, don't talk now? Don't talk now. Well, I'm going to have to use the verb hablar. So, according to the little guide right over here in the yellow box in the Spanish 3 Honors book, well, I'll have to change it to the yo form, present tense, yo hablo, right? And I have to drop the O, drop the letter O, so I'm left with the stem, H-A-B-L, and for AR ending verbs, I have to add ES. So put those together, and now, no hables ahora. Don't talk now. No hables ahora is what I'm left with. Take an ER ending verb, comer. We'll repeat the same process. Put it in the yo form, present tense. Como. Drop the O. You're left with COM as your stem, and then add AS for ER ending infinitives. So now you're left with this. No comas tanto. Don't eat so much. And then finally, an IR ending verb, abrir. Same procedure. Yo abro. Drop the O. You're left with ABR as your stem. Add AS for IR ending verbs. And put it all together. No abras la boca. Don't open that mouth. Don't open your mouth, okay? No abras la boca is what you're left with. And generally, that is how you form a mandato negativo con tú. So once again, this information can be found in your libro. Opción número 2 is as follows. Let me see if I can try to fire up that PowerPoint. And let's see. Okay, so we got to get to the good stuff. Part 2. Let's see. Here we go. Negative commands. To state the don'ts. So here's how the PowerPoint explains it. And so again, take your pick. When you give a negative command, of course, the very first word that comes out of your negative command is the word no. Okay, don't is basically what that translates to. And if you have an AR ending verb, ER ending verb, IR ending verb, well, you're always going to have one of those. Here's what it says to do. Switch the AS ending when you're talking to tú, when you're talking to you, using the tú conjugation. Switch the AS ending to ES and the ES ending to AS. What? Switch the AS ending to ES and the ES ending to AS. Oh, okay, so you're switching, you're flipping, you're kind of just trading places. So that's another approach. Take a look at the examples. Okay, so fumar, to smoke. Bad deal, right? I know. So, yo fumo, I smoke. Well, I don't really, but. Tú fumas, you smoke. Well, we don't want you to do that. I don't want you to do that. Tú fumas. So now, according to this rule in the PowerPoint, switch the AS in fumas. Now you have to switch it to an ES. So now it's fumes. And the cherry on top, put the word no in front of the word fumes. There's your negative tú command. No fumes. Don't smoke. All right? So it's a little bit of a switcheroo. This is the approach that this PowerPoint is telling you to do. Switch places when you have the tú form present tense of whatever you're trying to tell that person not to do. Take a look at the verb correr. Yo corro, tú corres. Okay, so we're going to take the tú form of correr, which is corres. But now, according to this, switch the AS ending to ES. No corras. Did I have that right? I'm sorry. Switch the ES ending to AS is what we're dealing with here. No corras. Okay, once again, make sure that you put the no in front of your command word. So now, no corras, don't run. One more example here. Duermes, tú duermes, you sleep. Well, I don't want you to do that, especially in la clase de español. No duermas, don't sleep. Once again, your ES ending here changes to AS, okay? So just switch the endings when you are working with the tú form of the action you don't want them to do, and that is your second technique, all right? Personally, I think this is the easier technique. Take a look at the next screen. I want you not to buy pizza. So comprar is your AR ending infinitive that I'm going to use to tell you not to buy it. Put comprar in the tú form. So yo compro, of course. Tú compras is what I need to work with. Compras. And just like the screen before, you switch endings. Change the AS to ES, and now you've got compres. Put the no in front. Bingo. No compres la pizza. Don't buy the pizza. All right? Let's take a look at another example. Don't open the door because it's pretty cold these days. Take your verb, abrir. Put abrir in the tú form present tense. You work it out, it changes to abres. Change the ES to AS. It's the old switcheroo, just switch places. And now you have abras, put the word no in front. Bam. No abras la puerta. Don't open the door. All right? Don't drink soda. Always a good idea to avoid soda as much as you can. Take your verb, beber. Put beber in the tú form. Bebes. Change the ES to AS. Now you have bebas. Put the word no in front. No bebas los refrescos. All right? So if you want to use the verb tomar, which is more common in Mexico, for example, when you work it out, it's no tomes los refrescos. All right? Verbs with spelling changes, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot avoid them. All right? Desafortunadamente, there are several verbs that change spelling when made into negative commands to keep their sound. So take a look. Jugar, no juegues. Look at this. Okay, the G has to change into the GU to preserve pronunciation. Sometimes you have verbs ending in CAR, like practicar. Again, you're going to have to change that C to a QU to preserve the pronunciation. So if you don't want someone to practice right now, when you work it out, no practiques, but it's not complete until you change the letter C to QU. Okay? So make sure that you do that and be careful with those. Let's see if we could try to maybe practice a few of these more mandatos afirmativos con afirmativos, negativos. These next verbs have spelling changes. Let's see here. Oh, okay. All right. So don't play in the house. What do you think it's going to be? Well, you're going to have to work it out. It's going to require the verb jugar. Of course, when you work out jugar in the present tense, yo juego, tú juegas. Well, that's exactly what we need. Juegas. Again, the switcheroo. Change the AS to ES, and remember, you're gonna also make sure that you change the G to a GU to preserve the pronunciation. So, juegues, and then finally put the word no in front. No juegues en la casa. And that's probably something I heard a lot when I was growing up. Well, I don't want you to arrive late, so don't arrive late. How do I work that out? Well, let's use the verb llegar. When you work it out, no llegues tarde. Remember, G turns into GU to preserve pronunciation for llegar. Don't touch the piano. Tocar is what you're working with when you work it out. You can see right there. Tú tocas. Change the AS to an ES. But don't forget to also change the C to a QU. No toques el piano. All right? Don't touch the piano. Or don't play the piano, actually, I think is what it's trying to say here. Sadly, señoritas y señores, do all negativo commands follow this formula? Nope. But the good news is there's only 4 that you have to watch out for, all right? Ir, ser, dar, and estar all are irregulares, and those negative commands have to be memorized. So there's only 4 when you're dealing with telling someone what not to do, which is, in a way, a little bit of a good news type of scenario, if you ask me. So, dar, estar, ir, and ser. Well, dar changes to this. Take a look. No des. Do not give. Okay. No des dulce al niño. Don't give candy to the baby or to the kid. Estar. No estés. Okay. No estés en la escuela tarde. Don't be at school late. Okay. Ir changes into this. No vayas. No vayas a jugar afuera. Okay. And then finally, ser. No seas. Ándale, no seas. Don't be like this. Don't be like that. Okay. And that's what that works out to. And then finally, señoritas y señores, just like before, DOPs, IOPs, reflexive pronouns. Well, you take the reflexive verb, like for example, cepillarse, but then the se part is the pronoun part of that. And you're going to have to attach those. Actually, no, time out. Let me back this bus up. You don't attach those. Take a look at the word placement here. All right. Place them after the word no by themselves in a Spanish sentence. So you're not going to be attaching these like Lego blocks after all. Okay. They don't stack up like affirmative TÚ commands. They actually have their own independent status, but it's important to put them before the command after the word no. Does that make sense? Okay, so take a look. No te duermas. Direct object pronoun te representing you. I don't want you to sleep. No te duermas. Don't fall asleep. No lo comas. I don't want you to eat it. All right, where the lo represents a masculine singular noun, probably a masculine singular food, for example, such as el burrito, okay? Because el burrito is masculine singular. You need a masculine singular DOP to represent it. No lo comas. Don't eat it. No lo comas. No me digas. You're not telling that to me, are you? No me digas. Okay, don't tell me. All right. Yeah, and then finally, let's see if we could try to wrap all of this up in the next minute or so. Let's put it all together, ladies and gentlemen. Eat more fruit. What do you think? Well, you have to use the verb comer. Come más frutas. Muy bien. All right, let's try the next one. Sleep 8 hours a day. Duerme 8 horas al día. All right. These are all affirmative, okay? Now these are negative. Okay, so I guess I just got switched on. Don't run in the house. No corras en casa. Don't open the book. No abras el libro. All right. And that is it. Wow, just in time. So I'm about to run out of time for this video, and that is mandatos afirmativos y mandatos negativos en español. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. This was a very long video, probably the longest video all school year, but it's a long chapter, and we have to know how to tell tú what to do, what not to do. I gotta go. I'm running out of time. I'll see you later. Adios.